Hey everyone, and welcome back to my countdown to Halloween. So today is day 14, and I decided today was going to be something that I actually really love, and that is horror soundtracks. Now, I absolutely love scores to films, but especially to horror films. Because for me, I think almost unlike any other film, a good score really has much more of an impact on a horror film than it does on other types of films. So if you're watching a drama, you can have a little bit of music to sort of enhance some of the dramatic elements. If you're watching a comedy, maybe a little slapstick music to kind of sell a joke. Or an action film, something just kind of help rev up sort of the momentum. But really, technically, you don't really need music in those types of situations. It sort of enhances it, but with a horror film, it can really transform. I mean, one of my favorite stories is still when John Carpenter said that he showed a rough cut of Halloween to an executive who I think was at MGM at the time, and he said that she didn't even react to the film. And then once he did the score, and then she saw it months later with the music and everything intact, she just said how much it just blew her away and how scared she was. And he said all he had done was really just add the music. And what's great too is that there's so many different kinds of soundtracks. You have your more traditional orchestral score, so you can have composers like Jerry Goldsmith. One of my favorites, or Christopher Young. As an example, Jerry Goldsmith, like I mentioned in the previous video with The Omen, he did The Omen, but he did Poltergeist and Gremlins. He was someone who was not afraid to work in the horror genre. And then Christopher Young, who's I think a majority of his career has been fairly horror-based. He did Hellraiser 1 and 2, he did The Dark Half, he did Drag Me to Hell, a bunch of other ones. I can sit here and just, ramble off films to a lot of these composers. And then you absolutely have composers like John Carpenter, for example, does the music for his own films that obviously John Carpenter is one of my favorites. And even some of the Italian scores, so example, Goblin, who did their score for, Suspiria, a lot of Argento films. Fabio Frizzi, who I've met, who I absolutely love. He worked with Fulci a couple times, so he did, The Beyond and Zombie. You can also have instances where even library music can sort of enhance. Obviously, George Romero was very much known for that in his earlier films. Go back and watch The Night of the Living Dead, which was all library music. And yet, I know for a lot of us, it's like, even if I just hear that opening piece, it's like, wow, that's from Night of the Living Dead. I know what that is. And of course, there's so many iconic scores. You have obviously Bernard Herrmann's score for Psycho or John Williams' score for Jaws. I don't know if I could actually pick a favorite soundtrack, because there are several I listen to literally all year round. But I'm going to mention two that are very dear to me. One of which is actually John Harrison's score for Creepshow, which I listen to literally all the time. In fact, I'm actually wearing my Creepshow shirt today, actually one of them. Maybe it's because I grew up watching the film, but there's something so special about that score that is very haunting. But I also find it very inspiring. So that gets a lot of play with me. And then the other one would actually be John Carpenter's score for the original Halloween. I actually listen to that year round. It doesn't even have to be October. And that arguably for me is probably one of the best scores ever done, because everybody knows, especially the theme. Even on the off chance that no one's ever actually even seen the film, they know that theme. And that ranks up there with, Jaws, for example, or Psycho as well, like films where it's like, even if you've never seen the film, you know that music. And John Carpenter's Halloween is definitely one of them. So I could talk about this all day long, but I'm trying to keep these super short. So definitely let me know your favorite horror soundtrack, or at least one of them. Be back here tomorrow for my next one in my countdown to Halloween. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.